GM. Welcome to the Music NFT Show from London in the UK. Please note this is not financial advice and make sure you do your own research. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Music NFT Show with myself, Richard, and my co-host Barry. We're based in London in the UK, where the NFT scene is currently booming and it's only going to get bigger.
In this episode, we will be playing a few of the best music NFTs released last week and some upcoming new releases from various music NFT platforms such as Sound XYZ, Mint Songs, Catalog, Royal and Enter.audio.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. We really appreciate the support. In advance, thank you for listening. If you have any questions or wanted to suggest some music NFTs to us, then we'd really love to hear from you. musicnftshow@gmail.com or drop us a message or comment at musicnftshow.xyz. You can also find us on Insta or Twitter as Music NFT Show.
Let's get started.
All right, let's do this. So, music NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
Barry, I'd love it if you can explain to our audience what they are. And for everyone who does know, our audience who do know, we apologise. The idea of this show is that you can come to it as a complete, beginner with no knowledge of what music NFTs are, or you can come at it from a place of you're fully immersed in the NFT music scene. And so, but today's show is really about just laying the foundation. So, talk to us. What is a music NFT?
Okay, I think of music NFTs as digital vinyl, right? So, digital vinyl is held on the blockchain. It's got obviously a music element attached to it. That might be a snippet of an audio track of, say, 30 seconds. It could be a full-length track. And there might also be the possibility of a visual element on there. So let's just say, for example, cover art or a video. So that's really what music NFTs are. They are proof of ownership in terms of an artist will mint on the blockchain a track, and anybody that purchases that owns the proof that they've purchased that music NFT. And that information is held on the blockchain.
That's brilliant. I think that's a really comprehensive definition, actually.
Should we go into a blockchain as well?
Yeah. How do you feel about talking about what a blockchain is?
Okay, so there's various blockchains that currently exist. They all pretty much work in the same way. So if, for example, somebody purchases a music NFT, what'll happen is that transaction will be recorded on the blockchain. So think of the blockchain as like a database. So it records the originator of who owned it before in terms of what their digital wallet address is, and when that's sold, who that's going to. So it'll have two digital wallets held on the account. Every single time that there's a new entry on that database, it will check the last entry and say, does this match up with the ID number of the last entry? And if it does, then that'll continue. And that's why it's quite a secure way of recording music NFTs.
That's also why this is such an important bit of technology, because currently it's really difficult to, especially in music, as you know, as a listener, as fans, we get a great deal. We get access to, we pay £10 a month or $9.99 in the US, and we get unlimited music. But the artists don't get a great deal, do they?
No, they get, generally it's about, for every 1,000 streams, you're looking at 0.004 cents per stream, which equates to about $4 for every 1,000 streams.
That's right. And so the idea is, artists and musicians currently don't get paid what they deserve for their art. Especially because music, most people love music, and the memories it has, and whether it's dancing to it, whether it's listening to it, whether it's being sad, whether it's being happy, music gives a lot of us life. And we're here because we're super passionate about music, and we want the artists to get what they deserve and get paid what they deserve. That's right.
Absolutely right. And there hasn't been that opportunity really since streaming services began for the likes of Spotify and Apple. So just having that possibility of being able to offer a new type of digital merchandise for fans with a limited amount of editions can really provide scarcity, knowing that there's, say, only 10 copies of this track that you can currently buy for this price. I think for fans and artists is huge.
Especially for super fans, like for me, I mean, we've talked about this before. NFTs for me, it can be I see a few models sort of playing out, and we've always seen a few models play out, but it's rather a lower price NFT and a high amount of quantity, or a very low amount of music NFTs at a really high price. The model that I see working in future is that a smaller amount of NFTs, hopefully not at a premium price, hopefully at an affordable price. But for the superfans, that's, for me, this is what it's designed for. It's designed so that your superfans can fund you as an artist, so that you don't necessarily need a record label, so that you can self-sustain as an artist and actually be like, 100 or 100 true fans. What you might have heard about 100 true fans or 1,000 true fans. That is the goal here, isn't it? The goal is that as an artist you can be sustained by those people.
That's right, and I think having a record of who owns that music, you can then build up a community of those hardcore fans. And that's where you can get also utility as part of those music NFTs. So you can get things like concert tickets, Zoom video calls. There's so many things that we can go into in this podcast that we will in future episodes. But there's a lot more to just offering a track with a picture.
Yeah, exactly. And Barry, you mentioned it earlier, but like, for example, also I really like the example of there's a platform which I know you're familiar with called Glass Protocol, and they do music videos that you can buy. So if you're thinking as an artist, how do I make 100 versions of my one track unique? The idea is the art is different, slightly different, for example, for 100 tracks. But with the music video, it also gives you another dimension. Usually you wouldn't have as many, as high quantity, but the idea is it's another way of releasing your music. And we're really excited to talk about that more.
So Rich, do you want to tell people what to expect with this show?
Absolutely. So we are two passionate music people, both in the industry for a long time, and we love music, and we love talking about music. We love sharing music, and this show is it's a new platform for artists to share their music. So we want to play great songs from artists that have been released, and we also want to find new songs that are due to be released in the coming weeks, that we can hopefully highlight before they get released. And the idea is obviously also find artists, like I said, that we might have missed and say, look, this was a great song that got released 2 weeks ago. Like, you should go and mint this now. So the artist would mint their tracks. So minting is the artist minting their track as a music NFT. And then the idea is once they've minted, say, for example, 100, that would then be purchased by people like ourselves.
Yeah.
And so we're about playing basically the best songs that have gone, and also the songs that we think could be like big hits, or artists that we think are going to become superstars hopefully in the future. And the goal is we want to find artists who break in Web3, who become massive across all basically Web2 and just the world. And hopefully we can do that. And we can't do it on our own. We need you as the audience, as the listeners, to recommend tracks to us. We need you as the artist to submit songs that you are passionate, that you think are brilliant, and that hopefully we will think are brilliant, and we'll push out there to our listeners. And yeah, so we're all about trying to find the best new tracks and get them out to you, but only in the Web3 space.
Yes,
it's got to be a music NFT, and we don't mind what blockchain it's on. We don't mind what
platform,
what currency it is. It can be any. Barry, my co-host, is extremely knowledgeable about platforms. I happen to think he's one of the most knowledgeable people out there.
Oh, you make me blush.
He is actually blushing. But
Rich is great too.
But he literally is a super knowledgeable human being and a great person.
And likewise.
Oh, thanks. I'm feeling the love in the room. Are you guys feeling the love out there? You should be. Yeah. And so over the weeks, like I said, the idea of in each show, we're going to aim to play. We're going to play little snippets of songs.
Yes.
What's the idea of that?
I'm going to try and find the best part of the tracks that I possibly can. And we've got a lot of music to get through, so we won't be playing the tracks in full. So we'll be playing various snippets of those. And then I'll be giving information about, who the artist is, the title of the track, where you can get it, which platform, how much it is on for, whether it's sold out on the primary market, whether it's available on the secondary market. and an
basically
idea.
everything you need to. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
Basically everything you need to know
Yeah.
about that song, about that track.
We want to give artists as much support as possible because regardless of whether you're in the Web 2 or Web 3 space, you still need to market an awful lot.
Absolutely.
And there's people in the industry that do say making the track is only 10% of the effort and 90% is marketing, which is hard work. So if we can make that easier for artists, then that's why we're here.
We're here for it.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're here for you, the artists. We're here for you, the listeners, to discover the best new artists. And like Barry said, like the goal is, you may get annoyed at the fact we're not playing a song all the way through. But the reason we're doing that is because there's lots of great artists, there's lots of great music, and we want to get through as much of that in a show as possible. And they do say, don't they? They say that, how long do they say? You only need
10 seconds, is it?
Is it
Or
10
3?
Is it 10 seconds?
Is it something like 3 seconds?
I personally, so my view on it is you need to hear a verse and a chorus.
Yeah, I always wait till the chorus.
I
I
always
think
wait.
that's really important.
Me too. We want to get through a lot, so we've got 30-second clips. So our clips will probably, I imagine, be a little bit of verse and a chorus, most of it. So obviously you won't get to hear the whole lot, but the idea is you get the sample, you go, oh, I like it, and then you want to go and listen to it elsewhere, and then you go to the platform it's on, you then listen to it on that platform, you then maybe learn about a new platform, and then you hopefully end up buying the song. And yeah, like, so we know you might get frustrated because you might hear a song and think, oh, I wish they'd played that in full. And we've all had those DJs when we've been out in a bar or a club who've cut a song off and we've hated them, haven't we?
Yes.
And like, treat the show as discovery, a music NFT discovery show, where you can then go yourself to then find that song in full and listen to it in full, and then maybe buy it.
Yeah, that's great. And any support, is greatly appreciated because we're all early in the space, but actually there's already a ton of music NFTs out there. There's
So
thousands
many.
upon thousands upon thousands. And part of our job is really to identify those ones that we consider to be really great and deserve the attention that they need.
Definitely. And exactly, the attention and the recognition. Yeah, Barry's right. Like, it's amazing. It's a small space, but there's too much music for us to be able to get through in a show a week
Already, yeah.
And so, like, as an artist, please don't be offended if we don't play a song or a track you send us. It's only because we only have enough time to play a certain amount of tracks each week. It doesn't mean we don't think your music's great or we don't think you're incredible as an artist. And we're here to build artists up. We're not here to knock artists down. We literally, we were talking about this earlier, we appreciate every artist and their music, even if it is not our thing, which, we're going to try and be honest on the show, aren't we?
We are, yeah, and that's important to be.
Like, because, everyone's got opinions, and we are just an opinion. So, like I said, our opinion is not necessarily what you will think, but we will just give you brief opinions on the songs, and we're also going to try and, like, pull out the thing we like about the song, even if it's not the genre we're into, or, if it's not for us. We're going to try and, we're always going to we always want to support the artist and encourage the artist.
Yeah, and chances are, if you like the snippet, you're going to like the full track.
Exactly. So, and you know what as well, even if you don't like the snippet we play, we don't want that to stop you going to listen to the full track, because how often I've definitely had this recently, where I've heard maybe a chorus of a song or a verse of a song, thought, this is not for me, and then literally I'm so happy that I've let it play.
Yeah.
Or that I've almost liked the song once I've heard the bit of the song. Yeah, once you get past that bit of the song you don't like, once I've heard another bit, it almost changes my whole view on the song, and I end up liking the bit of the song I didn't like before.
You're not talking about Kate Bush running up the hill, are you?
You know what? Actually, I'm not. But how crazy is that song became so massive?
This is the thing, because I'm quite obsessed with reviewing music for myself, for my own personal collection, and again, it was a track that I would have discounted before. In fact, I would have definitely discounted it before. But the more you listen to it, the more it grows on you. And that's another reason why discovery is so important.
Yeah, definitely. And it is a grower, though, that track. Like,
It is.
Like, I don't know how that song didn't go to number one back in the 80s. It was the 80s, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
It was the 80s.
I think so.
It was late 80s. I think it was late 80s.
Late 80s, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was late 80s. And if we're wrong, let us know.
And people are already sick of the track now, aren't they?
They are. But you know what happened the other night? I went and saw. Sorry, side note, guys. But I went and saw a band called Haim.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes.
I'm not sure if it's Haim or Haim. I'm going to go with Haim. They're all family, so they're all sisters.
Yes, right. Yeah.
I love female singers, love female artists, and they happen to be, for me, they're actually one of my favourites.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of they're my favourite female band.
Yeah.
All female band, and they're absolutely incredible. High energy, great performance, great singers, really catchy songs. But there was a support act playing, and she played a cover of Running Up That Hill.
Oh wow.
And she was an artist on her own. So she was one lady on her own, and she was playing the drums live, singing live, and playing synth live.
That's talented.
All at once. By the end of the show, I will remember a name. And honestly, I don't usually like covers. And I don't know, how do you feel about covers? Because I personally don't usually like covers. However,
They do help to discover artists again.
they do help to discover artists.
Yeah.
And when someone does it really well, like for me, she was almost as good as the original.
Mm-hmm.
And she was one person doing everything herself.
Amazing.
All right, like I will show you the video afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
and I will let you know later in the show who it was. Anyway, off the tangent, I think we should go to some music.
Yeah, definitely.
So thanks for being patient with us. We just went on one then, didn't we? Yeah, we didn't say this, guys, but this is our first show today. We're really excited about it. Hopefully you can tell. We do, any feedback would be much appreciated, and we do want to make this show as good as possible for you as a listener, whether you're an artist or whether you're a fan of music. But yes, so without further ado,
This is going to be our track of the show, isn't it?
this is our track of the show.
This is called Sober by the artist Superflirt on Sound XYZ. So it's 21-year-old indie pop rock artist from New Jersey.
The artist in question, literally, believe it or not, only has one song out on Spotify.
Ooh.
So this first song that you're about to hear is literally his only song that's public. And I just have a really good feeling about him.
And let's check it out.
And you ask me why I can't speak, I can't move, I don't wanna take a shot with you, I don't care if it's not cool, I don't like the guy I turn into, so I'll come through, but cause I'm about you, I'll stay sober till I'm older.
If you really love this song, we want you to go and support the artist by buying it from Sound XYZ. What is that in... Barry's face is literally cracking me up. Yeah, I've asked him a tough question here. I was going to say, what's the equivalent in US dollars?
Yeah, so 0.26 ETH is $424, and in Great British pounds it is £346. So prices can fluctuate on the market on a hourly basis, even by the minute. And it's just important to note that obviously we give details such as availability, but we can't be 100% accurate because these music NFTs could sell out before this podcast is actually released.
Okay, what do you think of that song?
I thought that was really promising, that track.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like there's a lot of potential in this artist. I found that track super catchy, super good vibes. Summer feel definitely is being added to my favourite list.
Great, that's good. I really liked it. So there's 25 editions was available when it was launched back at the beginning of April, and it's now available on the secondary market on OpenSea with the floor price of 0.26 ETH at the moment.
Thank you so much for listening today. We're excited to bring you the best new music and the best new artists emerging in Web3.
Great. Take care, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Have a great week. Bye.